Here's some more. Here was Mr. Trump's Truth Social post last evening. Okay, quote, members of Congress are getting to work on one bill, one powerful bill that will bring our country back and make it greater than ever before. We must secure our border, unleash American energy, and renew the Trump tax cuts, which were the largest in history, but we will make them even better. That was from his post last night. All right. Joining us now, somebody who's going to have a lot to say about all this, House Ways and Means Chair, my friend Jason Smith of the great state of Missouri. Jason, I don't know, you may not have heard it. I had this wonderful one big conversation with our great friend, Senator Ted Cruz, who keeps talking about two bills. And so we went back and forth on two bills. I know you've been in favor of one bill, and you know I've advocated one bill night after night for several weeks. Where do things stand after the Republican conference on Saturday and so forth and so on? Where do things stand? Are we still talking one big, beautiful bill?
The Speaker's been very clear that we're going to do one bill because that is the best and quickest approach to deliver on the priorities of President Trump and the 77 million Americans that sent him to Washington. One big, beautiful bill is the best way to approach it. The Speaker, myself, we know the dynamics of the House much more than any senator, especially a senator who's never served in the House of Representatives. We have the smallest majority. Smallest majority in the history of our nation. It's essential that we don't make any missteps and we do the right approach. And one big, beautiful bill is the best approach to make sure we deliver on President Trump's priorities for the American people.
Yeah, you had made a point several weeks earlier with us. You know, the last 25 years, you've never had two or three reconciliation bills. That's a strong point. What you just said, you know, looking at the CR battle in the House and the speakership battle in the House, I don't see how anybody could think you can get more than one bite out of the apple is going to be hard enough. But you've also said to me, you've basically been working on this tax bill for nearly a year.
That's exactly right, Larry. We've been working on this bill for over a year, and it's very simple. The president was very clear during the campaign what he expected Congress to deliver on. He wants permanency of the expiring provisions of his successful Trump tax cuts from 2017. He wants us to address no tax on tipped employees. He wants to address tax relief for seniors. He wants to make sure that we incentivize manufacturing and production here in the United States. These are things that the Ways and Means Committee has been working on for some time. And guess what? According to the Constitution, all tax policy has to originate in the House of Representatives, and we can pass the tax bill, get it over to the Senate, and let's get it done. By Memorial Day, we could have it signed into law if the Senate does not slow down the process.
I mean, that would be so fabulous. I mean, basically, it'd be 100 days or 100 days plus, but it would show, you know, Mr. Trump and the GOP, promises made, promises kept. It would have an economic booster, right? The blue-collar boom that we're all pushing for would start in earnest this spring. I don't want to wait till next year or take a risk and so forth. I don't think people understand how important the economics are, and much less the legislative issues.
Larry, the certainty for the 30 million small businesses that don't know what their tax code is going to look like next year. There's 30 million small businesses that if 199A, that's the small business deduction, expires at the end of this year, they will face a tax rate of over 43%. That's almost 20 percentage points higher than that of companies in communist China. We cannot allow that to happen. But guess what? They're looking at how they will invest in their businesses, how they will grow, who they will hire or not hire or lay off. Let's give them the certainty now. Don't wait till December of this year to address the problem. When we passed the original Trump tax cuts, it was in 2017, just a few days before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then 10 and a half months later, the House Republicans lost the majority. Senators have a 6-year term. House members have a 2-year term. Let's get the job done now.
Well, you know, look, President Trump said, I mean, in his post, and look, he had said it to me, I can divulge that now several weeks ago, He had told the leaders at the Army-Navy game he wanted one big, beautiful bill. Last night on the Truth Social post, he said he wants one big, powerful bill. I mean, this is what he wants. He won the presidential election, for heaven's sakes. I don't think senators should go against his wishes, frankly. I think that's bad politics. And as you point out, it's bad economics as well. Last one, you're in touch with Senator Mike Crapo, who's going to run the Finance Committee in the Senate. A very brilliant fellow, I think you'd agree. Can you guys work together to get something out in 90 or 100 days?
Absolutely. I was talking to Senator Crapo just a few hours ago. We're in constant communication. We can deliver on this. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
We want permanency of the expiring provisions of the Trump tax cuts, and then make increased modifications to improve on no tax on tips, improve on manufacturing in the United States. These are things that we can deliver on, and we're ready for it.
Terrific stuff, Congressman Jason Smith, head of the Ways and Means Committee. I wish you all the luck in the world on that. Again, Happy New Year. Thanks for coming on the show again. Appreciate it, sir.
Happy New Year, Larry. Always great to be with you.
All right.